enjoys watching this. So normally I name the videos off the game that I'm currently playing. Like, see, it would, if it was, you know, if I wanted to name it off the game I'm playing, I would call it Uno. And I've done that before. I've live streamed Uno before, and that's actually one of my most viewed videos on my channel. But what I wanted to talk about here today is, why are people who play video games toxic, and why are people in general toxic? Now, I'm not going to pick on specific people, and I'm not going to downgrade it and make it sound like myself as a person that I'm not toxic. Because I think everybody on this planet, no matter age, skin color, religion, whatever, has toxic moments in their life and have done toxic things, said toxic things, acted in a toxic way, that kind of stuff. But why is it specifically that certain games we find people who are toxic? And I think the reason is because people who play games that they see, like Fortnite for example, they see one of their favorite streamers who are doing really well on there. They're like, oh, I want to be just like them. And they think they can be just like them, which is fair. You can be just like a streamer that you watch. It is very possible. Because you are a gamer just like them, and your ability to play at a high level is very possible. You just need practice and you can get there. Anybody can get there. I don't care how long you've been playing a certain video game. I don't care how long you've been doing whatever. You can get there, just like one of your favorite streamers. And as a result, people will do things that their streamers will do, but they're very toxic about it. Because they, and I just made a dumb play right there, but because, actually I'm gonna go ahead and leave this match, because I joined in late. But so as a result, they want to do things and say things that they see their favorite streamers doing. So as a result, some of those things may be toxic. Like, say for example, a lot of streamers you watch on Fortnite, well, obviously they will go into creative mode, playground, whatever the case is, solo. They'll start practicing to get good at trap kills. You know, because it's like, oh, well, I want to be one of the best Fortnite players when it comes to getting trap kills. So that's all I'm going to do. They're going to practice. They're going to practice editing their walls to where they make it to where somebody gets trap killed by them. Stuff like that. Makes sense, right? I mean, you want to be just like that person you enjoy watching. You want to be able to win more matches, so you're going to play similar to them. If you watch a guy who plays very slow paced and they don't like to rush a lot of people, you're going to play like that. And the problem you run into is you'll be playing with people or playing against people who play different than you. So if you kill them, if you die from them, you will get mad at yourself. And you'll start to get frustrated and you're like, should I follow this streamer or this YouTuber or this Twitch player that I've been following for so long now? Because all it does is get me killed. All I do is die, and I don't even finish in the top 50 when I play Fortnite. And so then, as a result, I think what happens is people start to get frustrated. They're like, well, I can't do this, this doesn't work, why would anybody want to try this, that kind of thing. So then when it doesn't work for them, they start to get frustrated, and as a result, their personality can become very toxic. Like, one example is, when Ninja gets killed by somebody, when he's playing a solo match, whatever the case is, he often watches them afterwards, and if they start dancing, after they kill him, he's automatically screaming, "That is a stream sniper," without even knowing the player. You know, and at the end of the day, it's like, if you're a streamer and you get stream sniped, I don't feel like you have a right to get upset about it, because you're streaming and people know where you're playing, and they know where you're landing, they know when you start a game up, stuff like that. You can get upset about it, but don't always claim that everybody's a stream sniper, because that's not the case. There might just be some random kid who, you know, if you don't have your thing on anonymous mode or whatever, and so that person, I don't even think that matters. I think as long as you kill somebody in Fortnite, it tells you who, what their actual name is. I don't think it says anonymous or anything like that. It could, it very well could, but I don't think it does. I think it tells you their actual username, their screen name, whatever you want to say. And so, I might have to turn this music down. It's very loud for me. I can imagine it's probably settings. Here we go. Yeah, it's all the way up to 100. Let's turn that down. And the sounds too. Turn that down a lot. Sounds are fine. Okay, that should be better. So, you know, they might see, oh, I killed Ninja, and then they start freaking out, so they celebrate. They start dancing, because it's like, how many people can honestly say they've killed Ninja that aren't, you know, one of the best players on Fortnite, you know, one of the people that are, you know, you're really good at the game if you kill Ninja. I mean, sometimes he can probably have an off day. Everybody has an off day where they don't play the best, but for you to kill Ninja, it's going to be very rare. So as a result, you know, people start dancing because they're celebrating. That's a natural reaction. You just killed one of the best people to ever play Fortnite. Of course you're going to get excited. That's like if somebody dunked on, like, if you bring it into sports, that's like if somebody dunked on, like, Dikembe Mutombo. For example, you want. It's like if you're singing and you sound exactly like Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco, you know, like, and he's got a great voice, so people want to emulate that, you know, so, you know, it makes sense that people get hyped for that kind of thing. So, you know, what is the problem with doing that? You know, and honestly, I get it. Probably getting, like, if you're having a frustrating day on that game, because that's his livelihood. If he doesn't play well, he's going to lose viewers. Granted, he has so many that if he loses a couple, that's like nothing for him. But, you know, it means so much to him, so I get both sides to it. But it should be limited. You shouldn't always call somebody out and assume they're a stream sniper just because you have so many Twitch followers. Because you have so many Twitch followers doesn't necessarily mean every time it's going to be a stream sniper. I honestly have never watched Ninja play a full live game on Twitch. I've only seen little highlights. I've never watched a full, like, live stream of Ninja ever. So, you know, I haven't always been in there, but the clips I've seen give me a good enough idea to know what kind of person he is. You know, and I know that's just one side, that's just his profession. You know, no big deal. Everybody has off days. Everybody sometimes comes off kind of as like a douchebag or somebody who's kind of rude. So I get it. I really do get it. But it just, I don't know, it just bothers me that he assumes everybody is a stream sniper. You know? So, but yeah, like, back to the topic. Like, why are so many people on this planet, in general, not even just when it comes to video games, but why are people toxic? And I really think it comes down to a lot of stuff, but specifically I was going to talk about this for video games, and I could, like, apply, like, human beings to that, because to play video games, like, you could use a robot, you could, but for the most part it's humans who play video games. You know, so, why are people who play video games so toxic these days? And I don't mean everybody, but you know who I mean. people who try to play like Ninja, people who try to play like Myth, people who try to play like Daquan, all these famous people. And there's nothing wrong like that. Nothing wrong with that, because you want to be the best. It only makes sense to want to be the best. Everybody wants to be the best at something they enjoy. And at life in general. Like, why would you not want to be the best at something? You know what I mean? Like, that's why we get so emotional when somebody breaks up with us, because we're like, why would somebody break up with us? I thought I was a great boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the case was. You know, so now as a result, they start blaming themselves. You know, and a lot of the times it may not even be your fault. But, you know, sometimes it is. And you can get better too. Just because somebody breaks up with you doesn't mean you're the worst, like, person on the planet, or you're the worst person to date. It just means that relationship didn't work out. It happens. Not every relationship's meant to work out. Because at the end of the day, it's like, why would you start dating somebody if you know the relationship's not going to work out? You wouldn't. That's dumb. Nobody dates somebody because they know the relationship's going to fail. You date somebody because you want happiness, and you love that person, and you want to be with them for an extended period of time. Hopefully. Obviously, some people date people for other reasons, but that's what my idea of true love is. It could be wrong, could be true. But, you know, so it's, I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with this. I'm, like, completely off topic, but, yeah, like, you know, it's just one of those things that come with the territory. There's one in every crowd. Like, when people say, why are people so toxic like me? It's just like, you know, there's just one in every crowd. Like, no matter how many people you play with, you can be on a streak of, like, playing with so many nice people, so many people are respectful to you. They don't blame you. Like, say if you play Fortnite and your squad loses and you're the reason your squad loses, these are the kind of people that don't blame you for the reason why it happened. They're like, well, some of it's my fault too, you know? It's like, it's not all on you. You know? Those kind of people. Eventually, you're meant to meet somebody. Well, not meant, but you're going to meet somebody who is toxic, or rude, or a jerk, or mean, whatever you want to say. Because that's how life works. That's how humans are. Some humans are great, some humans suck, some humans are amazing, some are bad. I mean, you're going to find a variety. You're going to find some that are attracted to you, you're going to find some that aren't. You're going to find some people that love being around you and some that don't. I mean, that's just how life works. And there's nothing anybody can do to control that. Now, there are things you can do to prevent these kind of things from happening so much. You don't want toxic people being around you. If you sense a little bit of hostility in the beginning of a relationship with somebody, get out of it. Just simple as that. You know, but if you want to take time and try and see if the friendship or relationship can work, that's fair too. That's a very fair way to be about things. Even if you know there's potential for toxicity to be in that relationship, you're still willing to give it a chance, and that's amazing if you're that kind of person. But yeah, that's why people are so toxic. Not because it's like, you know, you meet one person who's good, you meet one person who's toxic, but it's because there's one person in every crowd that's like that. One person that's always going to be toxic. And that's why I think so many people are toxic these days. Not because there are probably people who actively go out of their way to be toxic, but it's because there are people like that. So as a result, you're going to meet people like that. It's unavoidable. It sucks, and, you know, I wish it was different. I wish there was less toxicity out there, but it's just out there. And there's a lot of stuff that can play into that. Say somebody works at a really crappy job. They hate their job. They're going to obviously as a result, not everybody, but some people might take that out on somebody, and that's very shitty. That's when it comes to, like, if you have a bad day, you should not take it out on people. You really shouldn't. If you have a bad day, talk about it with somebody. You know, be like, you know, and if somebody's like trying to joke around with you and you're just not in the mood, just be like, hey man, you know, like, I'm sorry, like, I want to have fun with you, but I can't because I had a bad day at work, like, you know, I would joke around, but just, like, give me a minute to calm down, you know, and that's, like, that's sometimes all people need. And sometimes that's the best thing to do after a hard day at work, is to take it off, you know, just take a load off, and just, you know, if you're old enough to drink, have a beer, you know. Sometimes that's all you need to relax, is to just, you know, do whatever's the best for you, but do it, you know, in a safe way that, you know, it won't affect your job. No matter how shitty your job is, don't go out and do something that's going to get you fired, especially if it's the only source of income you have in your situation. You know, don't do that. Because you know it's only going to hurt you in the long run. You may hurt some people along the way that makes you feel better, but you're going to look back and you're going to think, why did I just do that? and that's fair to think, because you're like, oh crap, I just lost my job because I had a bad day and I wanted to take it out on somebody. So that might be a reason why people are toxic. But I think the main reason why people are toxic on video games is because some people might find it funny. Some people might find toxic behavior to be funny. And the thing about toxic behavior is everybody's definition of toxic is going to be different. Because everybody, you know, like, some people think certain things that are considered toxic aren't. And that's just because what kind of life you've been involved with. If you've been around people who say mean stuff to you all the time, and you've kind of, you know, like, became numb to it, where what they say doesn't really affect you, you probably won't find something that a lot of people are saying is toxic as toxic. Just because you're around something like that so much, so it kind of doesn't affect you as much as it does other people. So I think that's one thing that plays into it, because certain people aren't going to see what's so bad about something, so more and more people can act up and get away with it because so many people aren't willing to say something. People don't think there's anything wrong with what that person said. People find it funny what that person said. They just don't care. You know, there's a lot of factors that go into it. So it's like a snowball effect. You keep on allowing people to act like this, and it's just going to continuously happen without your control. There's nothing you can do about it. And there will be nothing you can do about it. There's always going to be people out there that are going to be toxic. There's always going to be people out there that are rude. But there's one thing you can do about that, is not be toxic yourself. And sometimes those people that are toxic, look, life is short. If you're a person that wants to be happy, be around with people that make you happy. Even if somebody makes fun of you for hanging out with that person, say, well, I'd rather hang out with them than you, because when I hang out with you, I'm unhappy. You know, you have a friend that makes fun of me, I don't have a good time, stuff like that. So, you know, that, I get that, you know. And if somebody's a true friend, they won't make fun of who you hang out with anyway. They won't be like, oh, why would you hang out with him? He's such a nerd. He's such a jock. He's such a dork. You know, he's weird. You know, stuff like that. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You hang out with who makes you happy, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters to me. That's all that matters to other people you're going to talk to. Maybe not everybody, but a lot of people hang out with who they want to. And the reasons why they do it are, you'd have to ask them, because everybody's reasons are different. Some people do hang out with people because they're able to use them for something they want. That's very possible. and that's very common. But you can be different. You can change the stereotype that people only want to be around people who have money. People only want to be around people who are good looking. People only want to be around people who have nice cars. People only want to be around people who are famous. You know, you can change that. You can hang out with whoever you want. But if you continue to allow the little comments and the toxicity of people change who you hang out with and, you know, change your opinion on certain subjects, you're never going to be your own person. Because you're going to be stuck in this reality, I put that in quotes because this is not a way to live, of thinking one way and never thinking another way. You're always going to think, well, there's nothing wrong with what I do. I might be hanging out with somebody who's toxic, but what's wrong with that? You know? So, sometimes it takes waking up to realize that. And by the time you finally realize that, it might be too late, but you also, if you realize it soon enough, you might figure out the problem early enough. And as a result, you might be able to stop it from snowballing into a bigger issue. So, that's some of my reasons why I think so many people are toxic these days. And it's unfortunate that's the way it is, but that's the way it is. Unfortunately. But yeah, enough of like this deep stuff I'm talking about. It was just something that came to mind to me. Like I don't know why I thought of it. It just came to my mind right before I started this. And I just wanted to sit down and like share some of my thoughts. And I might be wrong. I'm sure somebody's going to tell me if they disagree with me. All kinds of stuff. And that's fine. Like I like talking to people who think differently than me, because it helps you educate yourself if you talk to people who think differently than you. You know, if you like crunchy peanut butter and somebody likes smooth, ask them why they like the creamy peanut butter. Ask them why they like that. And find out why, because you never know what somebody's thought process is behind liking something until you ask. Or you have the superpowers to know what somebody likes. Which in that case, if you have those, I'd like some, because that would be some really nice superpowers to have sometimes. But yeah, that's what I just wanted to sit down and talk about today. But right now I'm just playing Uno. And I wanted to talk about something else today, but I'm going to save it for another video because, you know, don't try to cram too much in one video. Try to, you know, save your ideas, because you're going to run out of ideas sometimes. But if you can continually, like, save your ideas and not use them, then, you know, it can help you create better content on whatever it is. If you're a blogger, if you're making a status on Facebook, if you're talking to friends and they're like, what's new with you lately? And if you have a conversation where you're always talking about that with somebody, like if you're just like, how are you? You know, and that's the same conversation you have with them day after day, eventually it's going to get boring. And that's all the conversation's going to end up being is, what did you do today? How are you? What's up? How's it going? You know, and eventually it's going to get boring because people can only have those conversations for so long. So that's why I try to focus on one topic for each video, because you only have so many ideas. And sure, I could go, like if I run out of them, I could go Google some. But what if that idea isn't for me? What if that's not what I want to broadcast to people? What if I want to be my own creator and I want to be able to come up with my own things? What if I want to be original, not use what somebody else used? That's the reason why I save my ideas. So, yeah. So, I think I'm going to cut it short there, because that's really all I've got to say about this topic. and I don't want to like accidentally slip out and say anything else. So, alright, that's going to be it for today. I'm going to start bringing some more content to you guys, and I've got some better ideas in my head all the time, and I'm learning new things all the time. So I'll have more things to talk about, and that'll make this content more entertaining than if I just made the title of the video game, you know? Because that's how you catch people's eyes. If you mention a topic that they can relate to, you know, like say the people who watch your videos are people who, I don't know why I did that. Say the people who watch your videos are into yoga. Well, you get a decent following. What kind of videos are you going to make? You're going to make videos about yoga, which makes sense. I don't really have a following, so I can really talk about whatever I want. Now, at the same time, that can and can't help you at the same time. Because if you talk about whatever you want without knowing your audience, you may lose people as a result. Like, that's why I don't start off with politics. Like, I don't really want politics involved at all with what I'm doing. But in the beginning, because you're going to lose people, you'll also gain people depending on what side you're on. But you'll lose people too. And that's why I don't want to do it, because I don't want to lose people based on what I think. And just because I have ideas of what I think doesn't mean it's fact. Everybody has their own idea of how life should work and how things should go for all of us. And there's no right answer to that. I have my ideas that I think would help, but they're not all the right ideas. And there's no right idea or right answer, because life is complicated. And there's no way you can sum it up with one opinion that you have on a certain subject. It's impossible, because life's always changing, and there's just nothing we can do about it, unfortunately. But at the same time, it's also good, because that's how we come up with more progressive ideas, and we're always constantly changing and always becoming more creative with our thoughts and plans and the way to make life easier for people and to entertain people. Because at the end of the day, I want to make these to entertain you guys. I don't want to, you know, I know everybody's got a crappy life, you know, and there's crappy times in life. I don't want to, you know, I don't want you to come here and have to feel more stressed out than you already do. I want you to come here and enjoy yourself. I want you to kick back, just watch these videos and have a good, fun time, you know. Because at the end of the day, that's all we're looking for. Anything else you can say for the future or for your free time? You don't have to put everything in one video. And some things you don't need to put at all. You don't have to answer everybody's questions. Not everybody's meant to know what's going on in your life. Just like you're not meant to know what's going on in everybody else's life either, so works both ways. But yes, that's the video for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna sign out here. You guys are the best. Make sure to let me know your thoughts and tell me what you guys would like to see in the future. Peace.